Today, I want to talk to you about ChatGPT. I talked to you about it because since it was released at the end of November, everybody has been talking about it. I've read about it on the front pages of the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, in every magazine I receive, from Wired magazine to Commentary to New York Magazine. Every journal has had something about it, including the Business Insider, which recently had an article written by a rabbi about his use of ChatGPT for writing a sermon. For those of you who don't know, ChatGPT is still in its infancy, and what you have to do is you click into it, and it works just like a human. You ask it to write a sermon, you just give it the subject, and it's going to write a sermon. In fact, ChatGPT has already passed the MBA operations exam, the bar exam, and the United States medical license exam. Our own Rabbi Yogev last month presented a sermon for the congregation, which he told them that he is going to give them 2 Divrei Torah written on Parshat Bo, one which came from him and one which came from ChatGPT. And he asked the congregation if they could recognize the difference. And if you look at it, they both sound very good. Parshat Bo teaches us the power of resilience and determination in the face of adversity. Or, as we read in Parshat Bo, we are presented with a valuable practical lesson about the power of preparation. Was the congregation able to pick out which he wrote and which was written by ChatGPT? Not really, because they had both been written by ChatGPT. Some people see this as a real threat to humans being replaced by computers and robots in one giant leap. And there are already people who see this as they have every other new discovery as an assault on God. Every major technological or scientific step forward has been met with religious opposition based on this principle. When the Wright brothers created the first airplane, there were many who considered it an act of heresy. As they put it, if God meant for man to fly, he would have created him with wings. A man by the name of Togliatti was the first to discover the great potential of plastic surgery. Do you know his bones were disinterred from a Christian cemetery by religious fundamentalists who said this man had no right to a Christian burial because he had tampered with God's creation? If God wanted man to look different, he would have created him that way. How dare Togliatti interfere with God's creation? Just imagine the shockwaves in the Jewish community if this way of thinking about plastic surgery has become the accepted norm. The discovery of the first umbrella was castigated on religious grounds. If it's raining, obviously God wants us to get wet. There are some within the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community who maintain this attitude to this day. Rabbis who have called to ban the computer. There are ultra-Orthodox riots in ultra-Orthodox areas of Israel, claiming that the opening of a cell phone store is going to ruin the lives of people. There is a danger in this kind of thinking. You know, when the printing press was created, Jews jumped at the opportunity to make this knowledge available to all mankind. who printed the Talmud early on. The Islamic world, which had been the leading intellectual world, the world of thought and creativity in the 1400s, 1500s, said you can't use the printing press, and for hundreds of years they didn't, and the Islamic world has never recovered. Perhaps we can see our Jewish attitude, what it should be, from the Torah portions we have read in this coming Shabbos of the Vayakhel and Pekudei. Seemingly unimportant Torah portions, just repeating what went into the building of the tabernacle. But there are two things that went into the building that created some questions amongst the Jews. The first was mirrors. Mirrors were used for the kior, for the basin, which the priests used to wash their hands and feet before serving the temple. And there were some who questioned, how could we use a mirror in the temple? The mirrors were what Jewish women used to pretty themselves while they were in Egypt. How can we use something just used to make oneself look glamorous be put into the Mishkan? Then the other rabbis answered, no, they beautified themselves so that they would be attractive to their husbands, and so the Jews would be able to multiply. Mirrors, it depends how you use them. Lots of gold went into the building of the Mishkan. The people gave their earrings, their gold earrings, for the building of the Mishkan. And again, the question was raised, the gold had been given for the building of the golden calf. How can something that was used for such a sinful act now be used to help build the tabernacle to God? And the sages comment on this, with earrings they sinned, and with earrings they were restored to God's favor. So all creativity, computers and cell phones and ChatGPT and all else, if you choose it for good, it's very good. And if you choose it for bad, it's bad for all of us. Nothing is holy. We decide whether it is by the way we use it. In terms of ChatGPT, I want to tell you a story I heard related by Rabbi Breidowitz in Israel. He told of a friend of his who had the bar mitzvah of his grandson coming, and he wanted to have a real good Dvar Torah for the bar mitzvah. And so he asked ChatGPT to write a Dvar Torah for his grandson's bar mitzvah. But then someone said to him, but ChatGPT has no emotion. So he wrote, put emotions into speech for my grandson's bar mitzvah. The computer instantly responded with the speech, and this man started to read the speech, and he cried. It worked. Mazel tov, and good Shabbos.